All right, welcome back. Again, this is Brian Whitmarsh, Chairman of the Board for Hagerman School District. While it's fresh in my mind, I wanted to kind of give you a summary of what took place in last night's board meeting. Give you some of the cliff notes for you that didn't attend. Thanks for those who did attend. First of all, we started off, we go through this consent agenda. So, we go through the financials as a board with a fine tooth comb, sometimes to an annoying point, but we want to make sure that the funds are being spent appropriately. We want to make sure that there's no errors, that we're not missing anything, because, that's one of our primary duties as a board is to review the finances. And so we spent we spent probably the first half an hour or so going through all the finances, asking questions, getting answers. And so everything was good there. We approved the consent agenda. Consent agenda just means the packet of things like the financials, the meeting notes from last board meeting that we needed to look through and approve. So we got that consent agenda packet approved. Everything good there. And then we asked for public input. Again, public input, we don't just have the random ability to have public stand up and talk, but we do have a notepad. So when you come to our board meetings, if you have an item that you would like to discuss, you put that item down before the meeting starts. We as the board can then approve that, and then you can speak during public input, or maybe you've already put yourself on the agenda because you contacted school administration before the meeting and got yourself on the agenda. So we didn't have any public input last night. We start off after public input with reports from our administration. We had Mark Kress give us a highlight of things that are taking place in the district. He talked a lot about the work that's going on in the Chromebooks. If you didn't know, we did a one-to-one. So we had the ability to hand out Chromebooks for junior high, high school students. We want them to have and be working with the tools that they will be working with in their career. You can't get away from the computer. So we have Chromebooks dealt out. And then with these with these Chromebooks that are coming out, it puts a tax on some of our infrastructure, for example, the Wi-Fi. So Matt Cottom talked about needing to do some upgrades so that we can handle more of these devices being connected to the network. We're learning. There's a few bumps in the road, but in the end, I think having Chromebooks is going to be a big advantage and prepare our kids, equip them for the future. So good things happening there. So we talked about that. Mark talked about improving some of our security initiatives. We've had security reviews and that have highlighted areas that we need to improve on. Adding additional cameras, the ability to add a key fob for the front doors and cameras, so we can see who's accessing the building and we can buzz them in, things like that. Improving lighting in the ag. We don't want any welding accidents because it was too dark. Actually, that is something we've already done. Sorry, the ag lights have to do with the security. So when it's really loud and noisy, and we have a lockdown or we have something go on that we need to contact each classroom in the ag, it's a little more difficult. They're in a separate building. And so we've done things to improve so we can get phone calls, but maybe you can't even hear it. So we want these flashing lights to go off both in the ag and the gym that help with security initiatives. Talked about academic progress. If you listened to my last video, you heard about the progress that's been happening, which is great. We talked about changes in the hot lunch program. Where we are meeting certain standards. It does mean some things. We're getting grants to be able to do our breakfasts, and Luann Coates is doing an awesome job, and her staff's doing a great job on handling the lunch program. Some changes, just because in order to continue to do our breakfasts, we have to comply with certain policies, and the Healthy Food Act. I just made that up, but it's something to do with having healthy snacks. So there's going to be some changes going down with vending machines and so on, but we want to continue to provide as much of that, the free lunches or free breakfasts and so as possible. We have two big audits coming up, and one is in the food program. We're getting, Mrs. Coates is getting all ready for that so that we can pass that with flying colors. Mark talked about culture heading in the right direction. He highlighted the fact that we had a Zone 5 board opening because our previous chairman resigned just last month. Thanks to him, Mark Daly, all his work that he put in years. But we had an opening, and we had two awesome candidates last night that we got to hear from. They're both doing great things in the community already, and so previously we were begging people to come on the board, and sometimes we would have empty board positions because we couldn't fill them. Big change in culture, right? We had two awesome candidates, and so that was a great change. And then Mark talked about expectations and helping set expectations for the next 5 years. Definitely that's something that we're going to, obviously, when we bring in our new superintendent, our new principal, that we're going to want to set those expectations up front. Jaron talked about some things going on. He's our athletic director. He talked about some things going on. The girls' basketball season is over. Made great progress. We saw great improvement. Thanks to Mr. Lyons for running that. So it was fun to watch the games, watch them progress. The boys have They have a game on Thursday. It's senior night. Everybody come. It's a blackout. Wear black. I'm wearing black. If you don't have black, I think Mr. Wadsworth has black shirts that you can buy for very reasonable. I won't say the price. I think it's $5, but I'm not sure. But anyways, it's senior night. Please come support the boys on Thursday. I'm guessing it's a 7 o'clock start. I'll modify that if not. And then Monday, the 17th, next Monday, we'll be in a play-in game for districts. And so come support the boys. Junior high is playing the 20th at 6 p.m. And then he also talked about the cheer squad going down, earning some great accolades and rewards and sportsmanship awards. They had a cheer contest on the 28th. And they had their dance contest on the 29th. So great job to that team and congratulations. So that was kind of the update from a athletic director perspective. Matt Pimber, who's our district attorney, got up. It's great to see, Matt. He's at a lot of our board meetings. He's very involved. He talked about some of that involvement and the fact that he's working with our administration to help with areas of concern, like when we have attendance concerns, and there's obviously things that can be done with the district attorney in order to do that. So. That Matt Pimber talked about some of the programs that are going on around, potential cybersecurity, which technology, cool. I get excited about when I hear cybersecurity. That's a big area of focus, and security is huge right now in technology because of China. No, just because we want to make sure people keep our data that's now so public, keep it secure. Talked about being involved in the senior projects, and then. Jamie, who is his right-hand gal that, I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but helps run the 2GCC, which is a nonprofit, and they're working with the community. They have ideas of having a community center and basically, giving our kids a place to go, right? There's not a lot of places, and, when boredom sets in, sometimes trouble happens. So give them outlets. Talked about an all-girls ice skating event that they're going to load up a bus to Sun Valley for $11. I thought that was cool. I don't have notes on what day it is, but maybe I can post it or somebody else can post it. But talked about a lot of exciting things going on with the district attorney and involvement with the community. All right, so that was those were the reports that were given. Then we have action items, and this is where we get into the meat of also what our responsibility is to have things presented to the board. We vote on them. The first thing we wanted to do is elect the new school board member, the new school trustee. We had Jesse Coit and Phil Gossi. We asked them a few questions. They had filled out applications and had shown interest in becoming a board member. Again, two awesome candidates. Jesse's doing really great things in the wrestling program. I'm 5'5", so I was a wrestler, not a basketball player. So wrestling is near and dear to my heart. It taught me a lot of things, taught me dedication. You can't blame anybody about losing a wrestling match except for yourself. So I love that we have that wrestling program. Him and Daniel Knapp are working on that. So he's already involved, doing great things, and a great community asset. Phil got up. We asked him questions. He's on some other boards already. He is, a longtime Hagerman. So if you Hagerman alumni, if you'll call that, and his family is. So if you go out in the hallway, you can point up and you can see. I won't say what date it is, Phil, but there's a date with his picture up on the wall, and then kids, and we've got Amy that's working in the school doing her student teaching, which is awesome. Some more resources that are specialized in the math program, so yay! But Phil, we asked him some questions. In the end, it was the board that voted on it. I didn't get to vote because the chairman doesn't vote unless there's a tie or something like that. And so very, very close vote. Again, it was a tough choice. Two awesome candidates, and I love having that problem, right? Versus begging anybody with a pulse to come onto the board. That might have sounded bad. But anyways, yes, so in the end, close vote, we elected Phil Gossi as our Zone 5 trustee. So brought him up to the table. Couldn't swear him in yet. We're going to swear him in next month. So if you want to come see Phil get sworn in, please come to our board meeting. I promise it'll be exciting and fun. But anyways, I can't promise that. But anyway, so that was what happened. We elected Phil Gossi. Then we talked about a request for proposal for the ag shop. We're ready to kind of move into the next phases with the ag, and asking for proposals to build what we need to build in order to build. I said build 3 times there, but build our food science program. And we have some things to work out. We have a building. The city gave us this. It's called Reed Street, and there used to be a street that went between the current ag building and that cool little old White House that's between the ag building and the elementary school. And so that was donated to us, and it's kind of a 50-50 split. So we get it, and the person that owns the white building gets it. The person in the white building is going to donate their half, so we can have the whole half. But there's still things being worked out in that. The thing is, the city they have a shed there, and so we said, you give us that property, we will help build a shed over in the park area where you want, so you can store your mowers and stuff that's currently being stored in this shed. We're still working out the details on that, but that was discussed in open forum. Obviously, everything I'm talking about right now is open forum, right? This is public record. If you don't want to read the meeting notes, you can listen to me on Facebook or YouTube or wherever I am. But anyways, so that was discussed. We had a second reading. We go through policies, and so we need to make changes, approve, review. And Luann Coates is working on a policy around the food service. These policies need to be in place in order for us to get the grant money and for us to continue to support the food program. And she spent a lot of time on that. Greatly appreciate that. But we had their second reading. Had, I think, only one change that we crossed out a paragraph at the bottom of one of the policies, and then we approved the second reading. Then I think there's third reading, and then it goes into policy. We then started to look at 10 other policies that the board is reviewing. We came to the realization that we get this first reading of the policy and it highlights what's changed. The problem is that it's only highlighting what's changed from the standard policy, and that's what the state hands out, and it's an unchanged policy, right? Well, we changed the policy to adapt to Hagerman, and so our policies are different, and so we need to get it's basically a content management system, or it's a document management system that can take our existing policies and compare them to the new policies being proposed and tell us what the two true differences are with those policies, so we can make sure we don't miss something. So we kind of tabled that. We said we're going to research it, ask the ISBA, our school board, and try to find a solution for that. So that got tabled. So the policy updates kind of got tabled at that point. We talked a little bit about our superintendent search. Again, we have the Idaho School Board Association that's going to help run that. Jamie Swanson, I think it was, or Wendy Swanson. I'll look at my notes and post it. But they have a lead that they run these superintendent searches, and so we're going to enact that program. And they're going to help us out. Again, we're going to get the community involved. We're going to have meet and greets. We want this to be, both a board and community decision. Community, you elected us, so we're acting for you. We want to make sure we pick the right superintendent for the next 5 years in the future of our district. That was kind of a summary of the open session. We then went into executive session. We had a board only related topic that we needed to address or discuss. So we went into executive session at that point. We also discussed, I don't think I can tell you what we discussed at all. But anyways, we came out of executive session before we adjourned, we went back into public session. Nobody was there, obviously. It wasn't too late. Last night we actually got done at 10:30. But we needed to approve an out-of-state or an out-of-district request. And can't give you any details on that, but we did approve it as a board to allow that out-of-district student to be allowed to come attend Hagerman. So that is a quick summary of what took place. If you like these updates via YouTube, like it. Please subscribe to our channel. Again, continue to provide feedback, and feel free to forward this. We want to get our message out. We want to let you know what's taking place with the board. I think I pounded on the desk less this time, so that was good. But we'll continue to refine these, and hopefully it's a good use of your time. So have a great day. See you soon.